Hey, Jason. Hey, Remy. Oh, things are fucking awesome. Can't complain. My sleep schedule is extra weird today, but other than that, really can't complain. Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But then again, it's Mirka. She's like one of the few creators where whenever she has something of her own outside, like I'm just yeah, all right, getting that. Yeah, I really do love the character. When she asked me to do a side story in her anthology book of Sweet Paprika, I was just like, yeah, I'm fucking, yeah, 100% yes. I know that if by any chance, like, if that vigil fails and like that book just kind of sinks, I know that one of the things that I'm planning for Shield Maidens is gonna be basically I'm gonna do a standard issue run in the comic stores once the volume is done because I want some variant covers, hey, just for the fun of it. I want Mirka covers, I want Micah Sozo covers, I want Davigo covers, so it's gonna be a lot of stuff. But yeah, those three are always on the top of my list. And yeah, by the way, if you wanna if you wanna be successful and fucking create your own comics, that's literally the mentality you always have to have. You can't go like, oh man, if this thing fails, that's it. It's like no, you have to have other things ready on standby. Just go like, if this fails, here are my plans for the other thing, and here's how I'm gonna change things and try new things and fucking go nuts on this, that, and the other. Cause that's the job. You can't allow yourself to get overly emotionally attached to your own stuff, cause sometimes it doesn't work, and you can't get stubborn about a thing that's financially unviable. That's a fact. You have to be smart about things because otherwise you're gonna find yourself financially completely ruined. And I do have a family. I do have people who rely on me, so ain't letting myself get into that. Uh, After receiving the freaking earning numbers for Sunstone, I am beyond happy now because, like, you never fucking know until you get the sales numbers. You're like, shit. Because I haven't seen it perform super well on fucking Amazon, this new one. So I'm like, Amazon's kind of my like, a short fucking way of just checking out whether or not the book is doing well. But apparently with Sunstone, it has spread out so well, even in comic stores, that like Amazon is no longer just a hyper reliable or needed element in my judging whether or not it's successful, which is strangely liberating. So, yay. And now I just literally can't wait to fucking get to Sunstone 9 because Sunstone 9 is gonna be where oh boy, I'm gonna. I can be a cruel writer at times, but this next part of Mercy arc, you can find out. I sound a little bit too happy about it, and for that I apologize insincerely. well, I mean, here's the thing. Amazon is a fucking massive company, you know. Like even with a successful book, it's a minor thing to them. Like we use Amazon not because we want to use Amazon. We use Amazon because it's fast and convenient. But when it's not, you know, you look elsewhere, and people started figuring out their plan Bs, which is fucking awesome. In all honesty, Bezos doesn't really need all of our money. Let's be real. Even I'm the happiest when people fucking pick up Sunstone in their comic store, which means, hey, a comic store stacked Sunstone, and also, you know, they made a sale, so win-win. Oh, thank you, Johan. Hey, Silver Lotus. Oh yeah, Fine Print is like right now. Fine Print is outperforming Sunstone. Not even gonna pretend otherwise. But you know, both are doing extremely well. So I am a very happy creator. Yeah, I think a lot of people did. Especially the most recent pre-orders were just kind of like I guess Amazon had some issues with their own system at the time, and like you know, people end up waiting for like their pre-orders of Fine Print way longer than necessary. Let's even take it into account that the book was late because, well, let's be real, I'm a comic creator. And but here's the thing: at least my books, when they're late because I'm a fucking idiot, and I'm like, I'm gonna fucking add 40 more pages. And the image is like, you know, you really have to fucking up the price on this. I'm like, but we already have pre-orders out. It would just be rude. Uh, I'm a passionate comic creator. I'm not that good for my own pocket. Thankfully, my fans solved that problem. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think especially after book 3, Fine Print is going to explode in a level that might be a bit unexpected. Because this volume is it's uh it's gonna be all right. I know it's weird. Like Amazon is like 5 minutes, it's like really fucking good and reliable, and you're like, oh hey, I have a convenient, reliable thing where I can order a thing. And it's like then after that, it's like, okay, but hear me out though. How about no? Yeah, just all of a sudden it's like, well, the most basic thing that you order that we usually have on stock all the time, we kinda sorta just didn't bother ordering it. So good luck waiting. So yeah, it's weird. Like, you know, I generally don't have like, you know, a visceral hate for Amazon, because if it wasn't for Amazon, Sunstone would never have been a thing. Because initially, comic stores weren't interested in ordering the book. When the first one was coming out, when I was telling people, hey, you have to go pre-order this because literally that's how you either gonna get it or not, you know. They went to comic stores on my request, and you know, they got told, yeah, we're not ordering that. And I'm like, well, shit. I guess that answers my questions. And all right, cool. Amazon it is. So, you know, I'm never gonna be the one to entirely to just shit on Amazon because oh, Amazon bad. Amazon fucking saved my ass. So it is what it is. That's the nature of the business. Would I prefer it if it was just sold and just consistently sold through brick and mortar bookstores and brick and mortar comic stores? Fuck yes, you know. I love that stuff, but at the end of the day, a sale is a sale, you know. I'm not going to I'm not going to hurt Lila and Eureka to even imply such a thing, especially in third volume. Shit. Shish. Anyways. Do I still add more designs to Redbubble? Rachel's conductor of the orchestra. Oh, I just kind of forget. It's not really, you know, do I or don't I? It's just do I remember? I was not laughing when I said that. When I was saying that, it's just I have uh, my Tourette sometimes manifests in strange ways. I would never. Okay. That one pumpkin is far too happy. Listen, we all have a good day sometimes, you know? Uh, I am currently on a Cintiq-like tablet, but once I actually make my move later on, I'm probably going to be swapping to an Intuos type because I'll have a workspace that can handle that, so where I can, you know, have my monitor mounted on the wall. It's way better for your posture. Like it's not even comparable. Yeah, that also, like, it's such a massive difference to see your work from a distance. Mhm. Hey, Mikle, how's the back these days? Back is fucking fantastic. I've solved that problem ages ago. My back has been fucking cooking ever since I basically swapped from working on a computer chair to working in a recliner, like a lazy boy type thing, where I keep my tablet on my knees. Like, it's been just holy crap. I switched to Clip Studio. I work in Clip Studio, but I also work in Photoshop. Once again, each one of these things is a tool. Just because I have a hammer doesn't mean I have no use for a hacksaw. I sound like a serial killer. Fuck. It's sort of well, basically, it's supposed to be like one of those bride's veils type deals. Yeah, Photoshop has filter. Photoshop also has layer styles, and I've developed about a few hundreds brushes that work with very specific layer style settings that I've set up for myself in Photoshop. So yeah, until Clip Studio finds a way to work that in, it's gonna be a mixed bag. Call me a mixed media artist. But when it comes to actual act of painting, I prefer Clip Studio. What webcomic site would I recommend you upload your work to? Hard to say. Like, what is your work like? Because, like, usually people will jump to the obvious answer of something like Webtoon, but the problem is Webtoon is severely leaning towards prioritizing and favoriting romance. So, like eh, and even when your work is romance, then it's like, well, how much of a competition can you stand, and do you think you can beat? Because oof. And also, is it safe for work or is it mature stuff? It all plays into it. Yeah, I am a mixed media artist. No, it's just she looks like stone because she's submerged into very greenishly tinted waters that make a visual effect on her clothes. That's basically all there is to it. But sure, yeah, no, that. Hashtag planned. Hmm? Hmm. Sorry. I don't have any art there anymore. I have packed my shit and went elsewhere. I am now a blue sky fella. I'm still on Twitter just for memes and nothing more. I'm gonna joke around. I'm gonna post updates where you can go and see the updates, but that's about it. I'm gonna be using X in the same way that I'm using DeviantArt. It's like, hey, there's a new update to a thing, and you can go and see it on the other side completely. Yeah, I've literally lost my patience with all that nonsense. That site has gotten progressively more and more useless to me. Like, the fucking reach is just non-existent. Interactions are just there's like a few people who have watched my stuff for long enough to the point where they actually get the updates and actually comment on them, and like those are my favorite people. But like, they're the same people who then immediately went to Blue Sky to comment there. I'm like, yeah, that's uh that's a sad part about it. Like, it yeah, it's another case of, wow, this place used to be good and now Blue Sky's got a lot of potential. We'll see where they go with it. But generally, I've never been the one to shy away from just picking my shit and going elsewhere. Lord knows I fucking shut down two of some of the most successful accounts on DeviantArt at the time just on the drop of a dime. I don't care. There is no potato in Twitter. I just used the thing called Tweet Deleter. Just fucking nuked everything. There's like nothing there. I've left my replies to people, but anything that contains art, I just went bye. How did I come across Blue Sky? It was literally announced when it was launching, when it was still in beta. I asked around first to get the invite when it was invite only, so I could just kind of set my stuff there. But at the time, it was just kind of starting off. But basically, at this point, it's every time the Twitter fucks up, Blue Sky gets a million new users. So uh, by my logic, I'm thinking in about 5 or 6 months, there's gonna be like 2 billion users on Blue Sky. It's gonna be great. I still remember back in the day, when my younger days, when I saw Elon Musk and he was like, you know, preaching about electric cars and stuff. I'm like, hey, this guy could actually do some good in the world. Good on him. There's somebody I could find, respectable. Damn. Just like J.K. Rowling, it just all went. Wait, aren't you on Patreon already? You literally have everything there. You can just fucking go and just strip the whole damn place. But yeah, I get it. Like it's easy to sometimes just send a link to people, and this kind of fucks with that. Yeah, everything got fucked over. Like at some point, like there's people whose works I like and everything. Like there's stuff I never see, and it's like turns out they've been posting. It's like it's not as bad as Facebook, but my God, like it's working its way up there. It's working hard. Oh yeah, it was so better back in the day, and now it's just like every 3 days, like all of a sudden Twitter just fucking goes belly up, and it's just like, oh hey, you want to see a thing? Yeah, maybe some other time. Mm. Mm. You must have missed the whole section of time on Twitter then, because it's been everywhere. Everybody's been sharing their blue sky, blah blah, blue sky, blue sky. It's basically from the what's his name, the guy who had Twitter and then like basically started working on Blue Sky. And it's like it's the plans seem to be it's gonna be way more kind of better in a bunch of ways, really, because it's like yeah, it's a new framework altogether. So you're gonna be able to modify stuff, and I didn't understand it completely when some tech savvy people were explaining it to me, but I'm like, all right, that sounds interesting. We will see. So far, so good. Hmm. Oh yeah, Jasper is gonna be Jasper is gonna be very fun first and foremost, but yeah, it's also gonna be like an emotional wild ride. Where one person, uh, finds a way to regain control over her life by taking control over somebody else's, and the other person learns a lot about themselves. It's gonna be fun. One of my big things with Sunstone is like I never want these couples to have the same problem and just redo that over and over again. Each one of these stories is tackling a different issue and different problems, different boundaries. So it's gonna be fun. Yeah, Blue Sky has been just constantly fucking like ever since it launched, like it kept adding features, and now it's basically very much on par with Twitter, and they're just building. Most artists are right now having a massive exodus there. But one of my absolute favorite things is gonna be basically when we go through the Mercy arc, like the second part with Marion. That's gonna be just a fucking emotional sadism. Sadism. I'm not even gonna lie. That thing is going to just it's gonna be intense, but it's gonna be intense in like all the ways where it just kind of fucks with your heart by the end. But after that point comes a sort of a funny volume, which basically tackles Alan's attempts at having a vanilla relationship with that chick from college that is the reporter he meets in Sunstone. And we know that doesn't go well, but you know we see that journey and how, in a way, kind of it's got a tragic ending to it, but it's also gonna be funny, you know. And the absolutely fucking hilarious journey of Anne fucking getting addicted to kink through Lisa's stories and having a one-sided bonkers goddamn obsessive relationship with Lisa, which is just hilarious. Because Anne has a she has a tendency of you know, she's one of those people who has a tendency of how do I put this politely and nicely? And she tends to engage in masturbatory fantasies about real people, and sometimes she gets creepy about it. So yeah, there's gonna be something exploring that arc of her. And then by the end of that volume, Anne and Alan end up together, and then we have two massive volumes of their story as you know the culmination of everything that was built now flows into their relationship. You know, all of the old scars on one and other side, creating these kinds of points of conflict in a budding relationship and how they go over them, and it's gonna be quite wonderful. Also, one of my favorite parts is gonna be Laura's return, because Laura is one of those characters that's basically one of my absolute favorite characters in the story, for a very simple reason. She's complex, she's complicated, she's flawed as fuck. She's not a bad person. She fucks shit up though. She's a bit of a mess. And like by the time she comes back into the Mercy arc, you know, just like Gandalf, she evolves. She's Laura the White. It's gonna be quite lovely. Yeah, Anne and Alan are gonna be just a pure joy to write. And then once we get to Jasper again, like all of these stories are intertwined and interconnected. So by that point, like, you know, when Marion comes back, also she's gonna come back in Mercy. We're gonna see a foreshadowing of stuff for Jasper, but then Jasper is gonna tell her story, and then it's gonna also continue the stories of Anne and Alan, Ali and Lisa as well. So it's gonna be a very nice kind of a tight knit scripting. It's gonna be very fun. Now, funny thing is, we're gonna actually go into Laura in fine print later on because she's also a big part of Meryl's arc. I know, shocking. And the cool thing is, like, I always very much make sure that you don't have to read other of my books to understand it. So, you know, we're gonna see Laura from Meryl's standpoint, where she meets this girl with, you know, a past, and she tells her about stuff and why she's not that keen on, you know, rushing into romantic relationships and love and everything. So, you know, she's perfect for Meryl because Meryl's very much not into rushing into love, for fuck's sakes. Love sucks, you know? Oops. Yeah, I mean, um, I love the idea that, all of these stories take place in the same universe, but I also very much make sure that they are, unintrusive. Like, to a person who's never read Sunstone, Crimson is just this club where Meryl works. But to a person who's read Sunstone, they're like, wait, that's the. That they see the chemist and like, holy shit. Well, that's cool. Like, it's not gonna be about those characters, but, it's gonna be about some of them. What am I doing? I don't need that. Uh, yeah, I'm comfortable with Clip Studio. Anything I miss from Photoshop? No, because if I ever need something from Photoshop, I go to Photoshop. As for whether or not something is missing in Clip Studio, yeah, a bunch of stuff. But it's Clip Studio. I'm sure they will add stuff later on because they always do, so I'm not worried. Yeah, I have a bunch of stories on standby, but the problem is, like, none of them feel like they would be successful enough for me to actually commit years of my life to doing it, so yeah. Because again, when it comes to all this creativity stuff, I have to be practical. I've been on the other end of things where it's like I wasn't practical, I was stubborn, and then you know had to work myself to the bone to actually just fix the damage. Because being stubborn about a story that doesn't gain audience, like it's just gonna make you at some point have to take too much work to actually compensate. And I'm not doing that shit anymore. I have learned that lesson the hard way. This is why I've developed a very cold approach to, you know, axing my own work. It's like, oh hey, this one doesn't have an audience. Well, it is what it is. Go again. exactly that. You have to, and like if you keep stubbornly trying to make a thing happen that just refuses to happen, well, yeah, sooner or later, you're gonna find yourself in a deep end. It's very hard to fucking walk your way out of that one. Then you have to swim, and you're burdened by all the shit, so it's very hard to even stay afloat. So that metaphor takes a dark turn. Yeah, I still have like, I don't know, maybe 2 dozen concepts that I never pulled the trigger on. Because again, I have 2 stories right now that are actually very successful. And yeah, I'm always looking for more of them to actually grow root. But if they don't, they don't. I'm not gonna lose my sleep over that. I lose my sleep working anyways. True, that would be more appropriate. Yeah, that's why I keep releasing the ones that I think have potential. I have promised people a second chance on that vigil, and I will fulfill that promise. If that vigil fails, uh, my next attempt at doing something different is gonna be Achilles Shield Maidens. Spectacle, action, mecha stuff, and we'll see. If that gains an audience, great. If it doesn't, we go again. We do something else. And mind you, I don't count Queen of the Woodborn into that, because Queen of the Woodborn is its own kind of a thing. It's my own personal happy space. So that one's already kind of settled. It's done very casually and slowly, but it's gonna get done. Because it's also a shorter one. It's not gonna be like 10 volumes. Queen and Woodburn is a 3-volume story, and that's enough for it. You don't know if you trust that happy pumpkin? No, come on. He's just a happy little guy. He's just a joyous little fella. Oh, If it does, it does. I'm not overly optimistic. I've seen the sales of current reprints, and to say that they are non-existent is an overstatement. So, we'll see. I'm wrapping up the second book within the next like 4 to 5 months, and that's about it. Past that point, it's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be in the readers' hands. If readers pick it up, if they like it, if they get vocal about it, which is pretty much one of the most important things, yeah, there's a chance. If they don't, they don't. I'm literally not gonna lose any sleep over it. I'm just gonna be like, well, giant robot time then. Well, technically it's gonna be first, Sunstone 9 time, but because that visual is supposed to be a 5-volume story, and let's put it like this: if it ends on volume 2, it's not gonna be a terribly satisfying read. I'm not gonna lie. It's doing very good. Like my sales numbers and profits from it are very good. I can't complain, and that's not even counting the foreign market, because then all of these books get translated in a lot of fucking languages, and then they get published outside of US, and then I get paid for that. So mercy, Sunstone is here to stay. That's all I'm saying. So we're good on that one. That vigil never really made foreign markets. Never really, barely even made US market. Let's be real. So that one has a problem. And unfortunately, if this one doesn't make it, it's gonna be a permanent problem. Yeah, it's gonna stay like that because I'm not wasting 3 more years of my life working on a book that just can't stand on its own. Like I can't keep making Sunstone and fine print in order for that visual to be, piggybacked. Oh, thanks, Angever. Oh yeah, the second volume is it's gonna be a nice one. It's gonna be a wild one. Oh yeah, it's way higher than I thought it would be because I haven't seen it really excel on Amazon, right? So I thought, well, its sales must be low, but turns out it's just people figured out other places to buy it, which I couldn't be happier. Like people are actually buying it in bookstores and comic stores now, and I'm like, holy shit, that didn't even occur to me. I was like, when I saw the sales results, I'm like, oh, I see then. That explains the right. So yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, the second book, the second hardcover on Sunstone is gonna get emotionally intense because that one involves book 4, and there's a saying in the Sunstone community of readers: you don't buy book 4 without buying book 5 immediately. So on the bright side, you have book 5 in that as well.
To this day, my favorite moment was when I was on one of the New York City Comic Cons, and this woman drops by, right, and she's just a random customer on the convention, right? Like she doesn't know about the book, she doesn't know anything. Like she just kind of saw the artwork, the cover. She's like, "Oh, what's this about?" I'm like, "It's about this." Okay, and she's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Listen, it's good. It's actually good." Like, she's like, "Okay, I'll give the first book a try." All right, cool. Tell me, are you here for the Call convention? She's like, "Yeah." Uh-huh. Do you plan on reading that to give that a read tonight? Sure. Okay, then see you tomorrow. She just kind of gives me this look like, right, and leaves. So, anyways, tomorrow she's like, volume 2, volume 3, volume 5, 4, volume 5. I'm like, thank you. It's like it's rare that you experience such a fun moment, as a creator, but it's just like just such a perfect, it's like it's like, do you like this? You're gonna like it. And she's like, all right. And then she came back and just bought everything. It's just, it sounds like one of those and then everyone claps stories, but like this one is real and it's so fucking just. It always makes me happy remembering that. Just it's just so fun. Yeah, exactly. Listen, and they're like, you want to build an audience, honestly, make your stuff available for free. That's always been my advice. My biggest problem right now is I don't have a fucking decent place to have my comics hosted for free reading. Like, yeah, they're on Pixiv, but like Pixiv is like Japanese DeviantArt, and it's like very much out of the way for a lot of people. There's some people even have issues actually accessing the files there because it's like, well, this is not visible in your country. It's like, well, fuck. So like even that's just a temporary thing. Someday I'm gonna have to find myself a person to actually build a proper website. Then I'm gonna have to pay them to actually maintain it, and I'm just gonna use that to host my stuff. Yep. Although, like it's the watching a fan be created was not an unknown experience. Like I'm like hell, fucking you've been there from the fucking beginning of Sunstone. You've seen how it all just kind of started from nothing. So yeah. Best part of every interest. Like, so how did you get the idea? It's like I didn't. I was just really dealing with my own personal fucking burnout and oops. Yeah, DeviantArt is just wow. Like, the Jolly Jack fucking did a brilliant thing where he was like posting all the links and it's like each link was symbolized with a fucking image and
DeviantArt is just a dumpster fire. I'm like, mwah, it's art. Yep. Which is so fucking sad because DeviantArt used to be my one fucking place where I would tell people like, if you want to fucking start building yourself up as an artist, you go DeviantArt. Don't get pretentious. Don't go like, ooh, but ArtStation, but this and that and the other. No, you fucking start DeviantArt. Because back then, like, that was the place that would actually fucking like you could actually grow there without just you know being consistently fucking feeling bad about your work. Yeah, sometimes sometimes you'd garner the unwanted attention of people with a whole fucking bag of chips on their shoulder, but like generally that's what fucking mute or block was for. You just kind of get those idiots out of your fucking timeline and carry on doing your thing. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I wouldn't have left the site if it was just, hey, we allow people to post their fucking AI shit. Like, fine, do whatever. Like, half of your site is porn rips, anyways. At this point, like, it's just nothing but stolen shit. Like, I wouldn't have really given a shit. But the moment they added their own fucking AI generation tool that's basically literally built from the same data sets of stolen art that everybody else was using, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, no, fuck you. Funniest thing was they actually sent me a DM. It's like, oh no, listen, it's not that bad. Come on. I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah, you really were like, listen, we saw this vampire outside. It wanted to go in. It was cold, okay? I'm sure they're gonna behave. It's just like, yeah, good luck with that. Bye. Mm. Yeah, but recently I've been very much into Clip Studio. So funny. Literally everything that I used to swear by now is just kind of turned to shit. DeviantArt, Photoshop, Twitter. Just wow. This is why it's always so fucking hard for me when people are like, "Can you recommend how to?" I'm like, I really can't. I got nothing, buddy. I'm just swimming in this shit as much as you are. No, yeah, I don't give a shit about uh, people making their four boob chicks in AI. I like you want to do it, go fucking nuts. Like I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna give you the time of day. But like when you as a fucking company are like, hey, we are going to integrate this shit into our site that's supposed to be about artists. Yeah, no, fuck you. You've chosen a side in a war, and I'm sorry, it's not my side. So bye. It is very hard to justify Harleen too, yeah. Because again, at the end of the day, just baseline of it all is like, let's just talk on a simple thing of money, right? They would have to pay me like four times the amount that they paid me for Harleen 1. And they weren't stingy about that one. Make no mistake. Like, this isn't me going like, well, I was underpaid. No, no, I was paid fairly. It's like, I still make big money from Harleen to this day. Like, I just got my latest freaking half a year check, and it's still fucking selling like crazy. It's like, all right, cool. No, but at the end of the day, like, it's kind of one of those that you have to ask yourself the big question: do you want to work on a thing that you know is gonna make you money, but you don't own, or work on a thing that you own and you know is gonna make you big money, and it's gonna keep making you big money. Oh, except it's gonna make you way more money. Like let's remove personal affections for the thing aside. Like that, I'm just going from basic, just baseline of just pure capitalist greed. Let's go with that, right? Like the answer is simple. You know, so like basically, you know how you would see me fucking make Harleen 2 if DC was like, yeah, no, you can make it through your Patreon. There you go. I'd be like, yeah, all right, now we're cooking, you know? Yeah, because like again, my reasoning is not that cold-heartedly capitalistic ever, but it's also something that I always have to keep in mind because this is one of those lines of work where you have a sort of an expiration date on yourself, be it on your physical self or your motivation, be it on just the value of your style. Let's be real, like you know what works for one decade doesn't for another. So you kind of have a golden age, and whether that golden age becomes your investment into your future, because chances are at some point in your future it's not gonna be that good. So you kind of have to always consider things from like 20 different angles because you know that's what the job is. Yeah, and the fucked up part is like Hardin 2, the script. I've written the outline. It's a very detailed outline. It's insanely good. I've written out the detailed outline for Isley. It is insane. Like fucking hell. Like I recently stumbled upon it and gave it a reread just for the fun of it. And I went like shit. God damn, the kitchen was productive. I cooked hard. Holy shit. Like, no joke. Like, Harleen 1 is nothing compared to those books. Literally nothing. Like, Harleen 1 is a fucking glorified retelling of, what's it called? Mad Love. Let's be real. Like, I'm never, this is why I never fucking take any big creative pride in Harleen. It's an elaboration on the concept of Mad Love. Like, there's nothing fucking big brain about that story. But it served the purpose of being a part of a trilogy that tells the story of Harleen Quinzel's life. It's basically supposed to be a sort of a Godfather approach to Harleen, where you kind of see this person start, you know, with good intentions and fucking get deeper and deeper into this life of crime until, you know, some harsh decisions had to be made. Like, that's the point. Like, the second volume of Harleen was really where the fucking series just explodes in literal ways sometimes. But the problem is, again, do I make that or do I make the next fine print? You know what I mean? It's like I can't I can't take those choices lightly anymore. Did I ever believe I would get to that Sirens book? Yes, I did, but at the same time, that belief didn't hold long when I saw the math of it all and realized, you know, and that I don't mean just financial math. I mean math of, you know, how many years of life I can realistically say I'm gonna be productive still. You know what I mean? Like I can't like rely on myself being 80 and producing, you know, a graphic novel and a half per year. Like at that point, you know, like shit's gonna start breaking apart. So, you know, you kind of have to take that math into consideration as well. I've not had an easy life, so I've been taught to be very practical about my choices, you know? And this is one of those aspects of me, you know? Because at the end of the day, you gotta take a lot of things into consideration. And it's very easy to get excited about a new project. Lord knows I get excited about a new project fucking every few months. It's like, ooh, I have an idea. Ooh, this would be good. But then, you know, you're like, you have 20 books of Sunstone to make. That is 18 more. No, wait, no, 12 more books of Sunstone, right? That's like, it's like 14 to 15 years in the future where that gets finished. So at that point, I am 57, you know, and that's just Soundstone. I have 7 books of fine print, you know. Now those are gonna be done relatively at the same time, So that's fine, but I still have a few other projects that I want to make. So that's gonna get me to like 60 something, and then past that point, you know, I'm not gonna be able to keep up that pace. You know, it's like if you see a graphic novel a year, that's gonna be like fucking oh yeah, oh, old man still cooking. You know, but I have to understand I have to understand my own limitations on that, and through those limitations, I have to basically plan ahead. I have to prioritize projects in that way. Oh yeah, I can zoom out. Sorry. Just a second. Let me just get my corrective layers here, and I still have to fix Alan's face. He's a bit scrunched up. Yep. File save. Thanks, Carolina. Will I ever think of telling us what those outlines are sometimes? I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll find an artist who I can trust to actually draw the things that I have in mind. So maybe there's gonna be sequels, but not drawn by me, just written by me. There's all kinds of possibilities. At this point, I don't know. This will make a lovely print for cons. Yeah, I do make prints from these Halloween pieces very often. Especially because, like, usually one of my most visited conventions is New York City Comic Con, and that's always, you know, this month. Yeah, shine on latex. Basically, latex has two aspects to it. One of them is the highlight shine, and the other one is just the reflections drawn. So basically, you just kind of draw and render, a dress as is, and then you start applying highlight shines that are basically going to be reflecting the most intense light sources in the room, and then just kind of go nuts on imagining a whole room around her and fucking start reflecting that. Speaking of which, this highlight shouldn't be here. Just you wait for the next New York Comic Con. So one of my big things is like the thing that I want. If you remember that commission that I did for you, it actually gave me an idea for something that I would like to do. But the problem is, you really can't find any place where you can get that done easily. Like I want to do these glory pieces from fine print of gods, but I want like elements of them to be done like in golden print, so that they would look like icons, So that's kind of the dream, but I still don't know where I could accomplish that. I have to check around with Matt and have Top Cow look around if there's some place that offers that as an option. Because like one of the things I actually plan on doing at some point, when I actually move to a new house, I'm gonna set stuff up for sort of a print order service of signed prints, so that I can actually, make prints for people, sign them, and just mail them to them. That's gonna be cool. So for something like that, I would definitely want to have. I would like to find a place where I could print in golden color, so I could have those elements. Yeah, that's the dream right now. I don't know how achievable it is. We'll see, because I still have to go through a lot of stuff to, I still have to actually move and then, set my stuff up, and then we'll see. But that's the pie in the sky idea. Foils, huh? Yeah, that's also an option. I could even have like a special, like a limited thing per month, because I can't take too many of them. But like a print that has like a special little, like a circle in which I could do a quick doodle and have like that be a special thing. Whereas like people who order that version of it, like, yeah, of course it's gonna be a bit more expensive because I have to sit down and actually draw in it. But the idea is I would kind of do a remark drawing in it, and a remark that would suck, because one of my pet peeves is when people offer like remarks or like doing sketches, and it's like it's such a sharp difference from the way their stuff looks that you're just like, are you even the same person? Like there's some comic creators out there that's like, you swiftly realize how hyper dependent they are on references. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, holy shit. Like, it shatters a lot of illusions. It's like, oh my god, it's the artist, and then you go there and it's like, is it though? looks at a sketch or a commission, just like, this looks nothing like it. What the fuck? So it always cracks me up. Yeah, they're 150 plus, and just when they look like nothing like the fucking art style itself, and you're just like, what the fuck am I paying for? Like, I'm sorry, like, it's just, I it's one of the rare things where I'm like, yeah, okay, I draw the line on that. Because like, I love remarks. Remarks are very cool, especially when you have some, like, there are hardcovers of Sandstorm, right? When you open it, they have that nice red paper inside. Drawing remarks on those is just magnificent. And remarks always turn out spectacularly well on that, But it's like, most of the thing. The funniest shit was when I was in Paris and people kept bringing me Harleen for remarks, and Harleen has no spot for remarks anywhere. Except in comes this absolute unit of a Chad bringing in this massive fucking box. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And it's like, oh, it's a special edition of Harleen. Opens it. Harleen is an oversized book in general. This French special edition is like more than twice the size. And I'm like, what the fuck? I open it. Inside, big old red paper, just spread of it. And it's like, I want a remark on this. I'm like, you know what? This deserves a remark. Yeah, I do remarks, but not very often, because like most fucking stuff that people bring me for remarks, I'm like, I just don't want to bother with that. It's horrible. Here's a cover where you don't have room for anything that's gonna look good, so it's like, what am I making a remark for? For fucking eBay? It's like, no, fuck that. No, here's the thing. What happened? Like, it's fine to have references. That's not what I mean when I say that. So you can see who's hyper dependent of references. It's more like, just they can't draw that well from off the top of their mind, and like that's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's just like at that point, if you're gonna do it like that, just fucking you have a phone or something. Like y'all have phones, right? Just pull out a reference. Fucking go nuts. Like. I'm the first one to tell you, like, just fucking, if you want to get good, fucking start using references. Like, yeah, I did this without them, but guess how I got to that? It's like a lot of fucking references. I sculpted from references, I painted from references, I got better at it. I remembered stuff over time, and now I can do stuff like this. But that's not a flex, that's just kind of a promise of what you can achieve with references. You have to use them, otherwise, it's gonna be shit. What are remarks? Remarks is when you take a comic, right, and you find a spot on like a cover or maybe even on the inside, and you do a small drawing as an artist who did something on that book. So those are remarks. Remarks are a thing that are very popular in the comic industry, especially on conventions where people will bring their comic, right. Like there's also a whole sort of a culture of blank covers where comic publishers will create a comic that just has like a logo or not even that, and have a blank paper for a cover, and you just kind of bring it to the artist relevant to the character or the title, and you're like, hey, can you draw me? It's like, here's this Batman comic. I didn't do anything on Batman. Yeah, but I would still like you to draw me Batman. All right, here's a Batman. So it's a fun thing. Well, I mean, it's not that they let you down. Like, it's just it's more. It's kind of hard for me to explain because like I always come to this topic as an artist because like to me it's more of a matter of like if you're dependent on references, that's cool. To be prepared. Like you're gonna do a fuck ton of stuff on a convention, you know. Just bring some references. Like it's not an issue. Nobody's gonna give you shit that going like, oh my god, you use references. Like, oh my god, literally everybody does. So yeah, facial my what's it called my facial expressions, right? So from my youngest days, I was a big fan of animation, Don Bluth and Disney being the top ones. So they inspired a lot of the expressive work in my younger days. But then I turned to realism at some point and completely suppressed that for a decade. And then one day lost my mind and went like, I'm gonna fucking relieve myself. I'm gonna fucking go. Let's relieve myself. That means taking a shit. But then again, that was really what it was. I was just kind of having an artistic diarrhea on canvases like crazy, just to kind of fucking let loose. Because after over a decade of just drawing kind of characters that had like 5 expressions, like growl, scream, smirk, and like fucking stoic face, and that's about it. Yeah. Uh, I kind of turned back to this very expressive way of drawing, right? And at first, like, it was a good thing to just kind of do no reference expressiveness, That's kind of how Sunstone was made. Is me just kind of messing around with making expressive characters doing BDSM. But then came the second phase of it, where I wanted to now take those that expressive energy and bring it back into realism, make my realistic stuff look alive. So from there on, it's been a lot of practice. It's been a lot of working from references. It's been a lot of, one of the big things for me was sculpting. When I started sculpting, it did wonders because like when you're sculpting, you kind of have to make that expression from literally every angle imaginable. So, in order to do that, you have to do a lot of references, you have to stare at them, you have to study them. Then, I got really fucking lucky at some point and saw a book called Anatomy of Facial Expression. I bought that. That book answered so many of my questions. Because, like, a lot of things on a facial expression you kind of take for granted without noticing what makes it click and what makes it tick, right? So you're just kind of drawing a smile, but you don't understand the groups of muscles, the groups of the deposits of fat and how they interact with an expression, all that stuff. And then you look at that book and it shows you a photo of a person, and then it shows you that photo recreated in perfect 3D with like actuals, like one-to-one transfers of like, okay, so this is fat here and this is muscle and this is the, and then you start realizing, oh my god, this little change in shadow is actually on every fucking thing that I've ever seen, but like I've never really actively noticed it because I didn't know that fat deposits split in that area, right? And all of a sudden, your knowledge increases and increases and increases, and over time you get better and better at it. I'm still not perfect at it by no means, but like every time I go to ZBrush and I sculpt an expression, I learn a little bit more. I get a little bit more comfortable at it. So yeah, you're still seeing me at the middle of my journey. Like this gets way better. You're welcome. It is so fucking good. Like that book, that one, the anatomy for our sculptors from the same team, anatomy of head and neck, and I've actually supported their Kickstarter for their newest one, which was arm anatomy, which is just like really in depth in how and like the cool thing about their anatomy books is that they're not doctors anatomy books, so it's like, oh, see, these veins and these tendons are for this and this, like fucking naming of stuff. No, they're for artists, so they find all the ways to explain to you the shape of muscle, the way it deforms in this angle, that angle, and the other. One of the biggest things for me right now, like one of the most interesting ones, was the actual book that's arriving, and I wish that I had that earlier, and that's the anatomy of arms, because it extends to anatomy of shoulders, and shoulders are basically, they're about as expressive as a face is at times. Shoulders, a person who knows how to draw good shoulders and knows how to draw emoting with shoulders, that person can draw some sexy characters. I'm not kidding, I am dead serious. Shoulders can tell you so much about a person's state of being, but also at the same time, shoulders are such a changeable visual element of a person, depending on what kind of a strain is applied to them, depending on what position they're in. They are a completely different looking piece of anatomy every time, and it is just stunning. This is this is where I've kind of this is where I've developed a keen eye on recognizing people who use 3D models for their work. Because 3D modelers don't know how to fucking handle rigging of shoulders properly, which always cracks me up. So they're just like, I don't know, we're gonna have a bend point here and that's it. So boy, that is not it. Like, it's cool, use 3D models for your characters, but once you've actually posed it, fucking find some reference photos, because you're not getting enough info. I think about smart. Hell yeah, banana. Do I ever miss drawing Ali and Lisa regularly? You say this because their Crimson chapters were the art quality was stunning. No, I don't miss drawing them regularly because, I never really stopped drawing them. And yeah, everybody's Crimson chapters are gonna be intense. Hell, you've seen the foreshadowing of fucking Ali and of Alan and Anne's fucking thing. Alan's a man of his word. Listen, Anne starts things off as just an innocent little thing, just minding her own business when fucking filth. I never said there's no more Ali and Lisa. They are gonna have more scenes of their own and everything. It's just like I said, not everything's about them. Yep, it's the quiet ones that protest too much at the beginning. It's always funny because I personally know about 2 dozen of those. We're like, oh my god, ew, what is this? Ah, tell me more. That's Anne in a nutshell. Now, while that whole thing is funny, one of the big reasons there is a point to that specific volume of the story where Anne gets into Lisa's stories, and that is it's going to be also in a way a commentary about differentiating fantasies from reality because seemingly people have a problem with that sometimes. So it's gonna be a very nice place to go into the concept of, yes, this is escapist fiction, don't take it seriously, versus take it seriously. And this is something that the story is in a very unique position where I can comment on that without it feeling like preaching about something to someone, but it's just hey, you know not all of the stuff you're gonna like. It's gonna be very interesting. Exactly. I need to learn more about this so that I know what to avoid. Oh yeah, it's nothing. Like the entirety of Mercy arc from now on is actually going to like because you gotta understand one thing. Like I've gotten a lot of praise from people for going like, oh, this is finally the proper depiction of BDSM. I'm like, no, no, you know what's the proper depiction of BDSM? Pretty much most of it, because like BDSM is a thing that people approach in different ways, and this is gonna it's the praise is gonna become true later through the Mercy arc, because through the Crimson Club, we are going to see people practicing BDSM in very different ways from Alan, Anne, Ali, Lisa, you know, people who have different thresholds for it, different ideas about it, you know. And it is at that point that it's gonna become a pretty decent representation of BDSM, even though it's not its purpose. You know, I'm not doing this to make a representation of BDSM and teach people the birds and the bees and the whips. You know, it's just it is a thing that happens in the story, and it is addressed as a part of the story. And luckily, it has a few things to say about it. You know. Yeah, that's the beauty of it. You know, where because like I've had like a few times. I post some of this stuff on FetLife, of course, and like you know, like 99% of people say, "Oh my God, such good representation," and then you get that one person and you know he doesn't actually know anything about BDSM. It's actually like this. I'm like, no, it's actually both. Calm down. We're getting to that. It's like, well, your characters said that this is bad. I'm like, my characters are idiots self-teaching themselves BDSM. Like, I've also had people tell me, hey, they shouldn't use regular scissors to cut ropes. They should use safety scissors because that way they reduce the risk of hurting themselves. I'm like, I know, but why are the characters doing it then? Because they don't know yet. Do you understand what I'm putting here? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? They are idiots learning. Literally 90% of their learned lessons is I fucked up. Here's how I'm gonna avoid fucking up next time. Because that's the fun part about it for me is like, you know, I don't want to draw people who are perfect at doing a thing. I want to draw fuck ups. Because we're all fuck ups, okay? Every last one of us. We're fuck ups trying to pretend like we know what the fuck we're doing. And that's what makes it fun in the end, you know? You your whole life is a process of you pretending you got this shit covered, but most of the time you're screaming eternally, you know. And it's the same thing with them, you know. They learn shit one mistake at a time. And also, like what they bitch about one day is their kink the next, which is just hilarious. This is why one of my favorite things is Ali giving Alan shit about pet play. I know, crazy. The person who's done so many cataclysmic fuck ups in this story, just like her best friend, they may not be the be all and all answer to BDSM. Fucking nuts. It's just this is one of those things. Also, like this is why I will always defend 50 Shades of Grey. I I stand by that. Because 50 Shades, people are like, oh, this is a bad representation. It teaches people wrong things about BDSM. I'm like, what the fuck gives you any idea that she was trying to teach people about BDSM? Like, it's like people fucking learning their goddamn physics from a science fiction movie. It's like, listen, they're using physics in a very loose interpretation. Okay, you want to learn a thing, you don't go to fiction, you go to, you know, educational side of the library. You pick up an encyclopedia, you pick up a physics book. Okay, like, goddamn. Because like that's the thing. It's like people going like, you know, 50 Shades is a terrible representation of BDSM. I'm like, no, it's just a representation of people who are just doing it badly, and people who are doing it badly is about like 40% of people practicing BDSM. And guess what? They either learn how to do it well or they kind of grow tired of doing it badly and give up on it. So that's life. Now, not liking 50 Shades of Grey because it's a kind of a boring book is a different thing. Lord knows I tried listening to the audiobook and no, just no. Learn physics from Wile E. Coyote, exactly. I have my degree from Acme University here, thank you. I have learned observer effect from Roadrunner painting a tunnel. But learning firearm safety from Elmer Fudd. Exactly. People like if there is not an easily accessible way to learn a thing, people will still learn it. They're just gonna go about it the hard way around. Like the very concept of sex ed fucking makes people touchy and going like, I didn't know about that. It's like, what do you think it's gonna be like for people who are into kink? And kink is, kink is a fucking consciously taken risk. Let's not pretend it's anything else. Like, it goes from being an extremely minor risk to a non-existent risk, but like, on the high end, yeah, you better fucking believe that there are risks involved. And like, if you're being self-taught or taught by porn and taught by a person on the internet who told you, trust me, bro, you're gonna find another teacher real soon, and that teacher is, life. You're gonna have that moment of fuck up that's gonna help you reevaluate things real fucking quickly and adjust. Classic. But yeah, no joke. Some of those fucking porn magazines in ex Yugoslavia were like just better sex ed teachers than 90% of the stuff that you see these days. Like, holy shit. Like, they actually had sections about it, which is just like, oh, hey, we see you're an underage fucking person who picked up a porn magazine. Here's some fucking facts. It's just like, what? And this is why in the Balkans we're just built different. Well, the old generations are. The new generations, not so much. The crosswords were good too. Yes. It's like a word commonly used for writers for penis. Oh shit, there's just too many of them. God damn it. When you want to write an old-timey fancy porn, so you say he pulled out his Richard. No, Johnson is his rivals. Willie. William. You know what? You're right. Although I think from us on in our language that was supposed to be like freaking sole of the shoe, which just brings a whole lot of questions, really. Rings of Power 2. I have to catch up on the last few episodes. So far, what I've seen was fucking excellent. Like, I, I'm one of the people who actually loved the first seasons, and this one is just fucking leagues above it. It's just that I don't do well with waiting episode to episode, so I just basically let them stockpile, and I'm just gonna watch them all. Yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a wait. But then again, you know what? I'm the last one who has any fucking rights to complain about waiting for a story to be released. Cause I'm me. So all I get to do is shut the fuck up about that. Cause the moment I'm like, oh man, where's my favorite thing getting the next episode, next season? And just gonna be somebody in my comments going like, yeah, about that. And then I have to go, oh, look at the tape. Pumpkin. Still waiting Half-Life 3. It's gonna happen, buddy. I believe. Yeah, I was actually gonna see Joker 2 in cinemas, but then I realized that it was the only fucking thing in years where literally everybody was in agreement that Joker 2 fucking sucks, and I was like, oh, well then instead I'm just gonna go and watch Beetlejuice 2. And at least, that one was there. Hey, Ferret. Yeah, I hear the Transformers movie is really good too. I just really don't like the visual style. It just something about the design of the characters just doesn't click for me. But I wish it all the success. And if that one guy on Twitter has anything to say, the movie will be a success. There's like this one super fucking committed fan, like holy shit. But that one guy has done more good for that movie than the entirety of their freaking promotional team. Somebody goes post like, I've been to this place and it wasn't good. This guy just jumps into a random fucking conversation. Goes like, you know what is good though? Transformers One. It's like, god damn it. Listen, I've seen people who like musicals say that that movie is fucking awful. I'll take the hint. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I've seen in years a movie that was so unanimously just discarded by literally everybody. He was promoting Transformers in Spanish. Yes, of course. The man takes his job seriously. It's not even his job. That's the fucked up part. Hey, I have really good fans. I am not complaining. Have I been playing the new Destiny story? You mean the new 10 minutes of it? Yeah, I've caught up with it on day one, and now basically I'm just basically did the dungeon, got the icebreaker catalyst. Now I'm kind of out of stuff to do in the game again, so yeah. Thankfully, I'm not in the gaming mode these days, anyways, because I am feeling extremely fucking creatively motivated. So it's a good problem to have, really. So, what's that? Nothing to distract me? Oh, terrible. Didn't Final Fantasy XIV get a new expansion? Bold of you to assume that I haven't already burned through all of that. The only thing I didn't do is the Savage raiding, because I don't have the team for that, and I just don't feel like LFGing, so... And like, it's kind of like one of those things where in Final Fantasy, I just don't really care. Because eventually, you're gonna outlevel all of that and just be able to fucking two-man that shit in like 2 seconds. Get all the skins and glams and everything and just go about your life. I used to be way more hardcore about that stuff, and like to a degree, sometimes I am still, but more often than not, I just kind of go like, yes, you know what? I got the stuff that I like. The rest of it is, a future step and problem. Hell, it's not even a problem. Now I'm waiting for the new content to drop so that I can get myself some more of those cool new wing mounts. And hopefully more new weapon skins, because one of my favorite two classes to play is a freaking Reaper, and Reaper has like a few skins altogether that are visually impressive. Need more. More! That's a good one. You got more? Yeah, Clip Studio is really good. One day, once they actually implement also layer styles and stuff like that, Clip Studio is going to fucking... It's gonna be the king. Do I have a Switch? I used to. I gave it to my nephew because I don't play it. I have now reached that part of my life where it's like I can afford the consoles and the games, and that's about it. First ever console I had was an old Atari 76 something. I don't know, something like that. Uh, no, it was from like a friend of the family who their kid got a Nintendo at the time, and they had nothing better to do with the old Atari, so it was a very appreciated hand-me-down. Because then another friend, like, we realized that another friend had like fucking 50 or so games for it. How the fuck they got that many Atari games is beyond me, but let's just say that for a while I had a whole lot of cyclically repeating games to play. Till I realized that I was playing like about 5 games altogether. Everything else was just a rehash on that. What advice would I give to aspiring comic artists? That's a very, very, very wide net of a question. By that I mean I've been working in this line of work for over 20 years now. So, yeah, you gotta be more specific with the question. Is like when you say aspiring, how aspiring have you started already? Or do you plan on starting it? Uh, what are you trying to do? Create your own web comics? What's it called? Mainstream industry superhero comics. They all kind of bring in different advice, and there's some overlaps. But again, you know, I need some specifics. Otherwise, I'd spend the rest of the stream just piling on advice that may or may not be relevant. one more day of work on this, and it's gonna be done. Then I gotta finish the Witchblade cover. Then all of the stuff that I kind of had to finish this month are gonna be done for the illustration parts. And then I just focus on comics. Wait, was the front pumpkin always smiling? Oh no. It's smiling now. Yeah, it was there. You just blinked. Or did you? Yeah. I've been live streaming the previous parts of it. I like streaming while illustrating. It's just kind of chill. Comics themselves tend to be a little bit, it's like there's a process to it that's less kind of visually interesting because it's just me filling characters, and then later on I fill the backgrounds, and later on I do the shading, so it's like in stages. So I don't really tend to live stream those that much. But illustrations are fun because you see them just kind of start from a blob and you see them all the way through. So yeah, well, tomorrow I'm gonna finish this. Then for the next few streams, I'm just gonna be dealing with the Witchblade cover, and then after that, back to illustrations of the novel until a new idea hits me, which shouldn't take too long, knowing me. Any plans for a Sunstone calendar? No plans whatsoever. We did two of those. Due to their size, they had a tendency of arriving damaged, so that one just cost us, unfortunately. I wish I could, though. I do have a plan on some art books and stuff like that, but that's when I have the time for that. They got damaged through shipping. They're large pieces of paper. Like, doesn't matter how they box them, and they box them weirdly. So it is what it is. I'm not gonna be. I'm gonna be not gonna be taking more risks on those calendars. It's a lot of work for, you know, a lot of time spent that I could spend making the actual comics. and then in the end only to have them, also be a financial fucking minus. It's just not worth it. And any way I put it, and it's coming from somebody who actually loves making them. And it's just at the end of the day, some things are worth the effort, other things, unfortunately, no. The sad thing is, if the situation was different, I would have by now also had fine print calendars. Those would also sell, but it doesn't matter whether or not they sell, because, when half of them get returned because they're damaged, you have a problem. Like at that point, I'll rather make like a poster book or something like that, like a print book or something, because at least that I can put in hardcover and then. Yeah, coffee table book or something like that. even notice that her ear was a little too low. I mean, we all have that one piece that makes us go, aha. For me, it was freaking what's it called? What do you call it? When you draw fucking ah, when you draw a beautiful sight. Fuck, my brain just refuses to take the word. The word like when you just it's like outside. You're painting like the outside. The like Jesus Christ, why can't I remember the word? Well, anyways, that's what did it for me. Landscape. Fucking hell. Thank you. Man, 99% of the time. Don't worry about it. I'll juggle writing 5 comics and a novel. Then that 1% of the time is like, what's the word for the coffee drinky thing with the handle? I'm just not doing calendars anymore. Like I said, they're a cool thing, but just too big of a hassle. File save. And that's gonna be all for today. I will be seeing you tomorrow again because I'm gonna be finishing this tomorrow. So, thank you all for being here and